A young, newly appointed deputy superintendent of police is riding his motorcycle down a remote state highway in Odisha, cutting through a dense winter fog. He is on a mission to aggressively debunk a local myth. Villagers claim a woman in white hangs from a peepal tree near the road, causing a string of fatal accidents. As a man trained in hard facts, he intends to prove the supernatural is merely an excuse for human error. When he reaches the infamous tree, he finds a discarded white shawl caught in the branches, billowing in the night breeze. He laughs at the discovery. To him, the investigation is closed. The terrifying ghost is simply a piece of trash caught in the wind. But as he turns his motorcycle to head home, the physics of the ride change. His bike suddenly feels immensely heavy. Even with the throttle twisted wide open, the machine barely crawls forward, as if dragging an invisible, crushing weight. He glances at his side mirror, but it's frosted over with fog. He wipes the condensation away. Staring back at him, from the passenger seat of his own bike, is a woman with entirely white eyes. In the fraction of a second his brain takes to process the image, his body goes numb, the motorcycle skids, and he is thrown onto the asphalt. He woke up in a hospital 3 days later with a fractured skull. This encounter didn't follow a cinematic script. It was a sudden, physical hijacking of his reality and his senses. To understand how a rational officer could be physically thrown by an invisible mass, we have to look past the idea of spirits. The supernatural is an ecosystem of unseen, lingering energetic frequencies. This chart shows a frequency spectrum where jagged waves represent ambient energies and a glowing line represents consciousness. Like an FM radio, a receiver only picks up a broadcast when perfectly aligned with the exact frequency of the source. In physics, when waveforms match, they combine and amplify. This is resonance. When a human mind aligns with dark energy, a channel opens, allowing a terrifying transfer of information and physical sensation into our world. The police officer tuned his dial through obsessive focus. His aggressive intent to debunk the haunted tree acted as a tuning mechanism, lowering his mental defenses until he caught the exact signal of the entity. This suggests that belief is irrelevant to the process. You only have to inadvertently tune your mental frequency to match the broadcast to become a part of it. The officer tuned his dial by accident, but what happens to those who are born hardwired to a dark frequency? Two twin sisters, Bhavna and Sambhavna, grew up surrounded by childhood anomalies. A heavy, unearthly perfume followed them into every room, and by their teenage years, they were experiencing vivid, waking premonitions of danger moments before it struck. When they moved to a flattened deli, the frequency intensified. Objects slid off tables on their own, and they eventually woke up to find both of their beds suspended 6 feet in the air, floating silently above the floor. Their older brother attempted to debunk the phenomenon by sleeping in the room himself. At 2 a.m., he witnessed the bed hovering near the ceiling, physically held aloft by a massive, shadowy entity standing on the floor below. Their family sought a spiritual solution at the Kumbh Mela festival, hoping to cleanse the girls in the holy waters of the Ganges, but the ritual offered no relief. Traditional holy remedies focus on external attachments, cleansing a room or washing the skin. These methods provide no defense against a signal that originates from within the receiver's own consciousness. As the twins stepped into the river, their bodies violently rejected the water, leaving them unable to breathe. On the riverbank, they were confronted by an Agori mystic who stared into their eyes and told them no prayer would work for them. The Agori stated that the entities in their flat were servants recognizing their masters. In a previous life, the twins had been powerful Dyans, dark witches, and their current haunting was simply those forces returning to their queens. To survive, they had to accept a terrifying survival strategy. The Agori gave them threads woven from dark energy for protection and explicitly forbade them from ever entering a temple again. Their safety relied on avoiding holy sites entirely. For Bhavna and Sambhavna, the karmic momentum of a previous life has pinned their dial to a single dark station. They exist in a state of lifelong servitude to a broadcast they can never turn off. The police officer escaped his newly tuned frequency by fleeing the area. The twins remain trapped within theirs, waiting for a dark purpose they have yet to understand. This specific mechanic of resonance is exactly why locals warn outsiders to stay away from the abandoned ruins of Bangar. Bangar functions as a massive, permanent transmitter of dark, energetic time loops. The static is so thick that any mind lingering in the area risks automatically tuning in to the signal held within the stones. Curiosity is human, but aggressively trying to debunk the supernatural is what exactly invites it in. So leave the radio dial alone. You have absolutely no idea what is waiting to broadcast on the other side.